I would ask, what on earth do you think you're doing? It's we're looking at a U.S. economy that, this morning's jobs report was really good. Everything is kind of coming up roses. It's soft landing everywhere, and yet he's preparing, or claims he's preparing, to go on this trade war against everybody. And the question really is, why? What is it? Why do you want to do something so disruptive when you're inheriting an economy that is really looking pretty good?
I'm looking, Paul Krugman, it's something you taught with a piece of chalk at Princeton and at City College. The basic idea here is a tariff chart, which is the microeconomics and dynamics. We talked to Richard Clarida the other day about the deadweight loss of tariffs. For our listeners, the magnitude of tariffs, does it matter? Or is this just simply a deadweight loss to each American citizen?
Oh, no, the magnitude. I mean, one of the things that you learn from studying the economics of tariffs is that tariffs at low rates do very, very little harm. We had an average tariff of something like 2 to 3%. We do at the moment coming into this.
Right.
That, if you ask, how much difference would it make if we got that down to zero? The answer is basically invisible. But if you go from 5% to 25%, which is what Trump's talking about for everybody, and 60% for China, then it's, roughly speaking, we think that the losses go up roughly as the square of the tariff rate. So with Trump talking not about a modest increase in tariffs, not about tariffs on a few products, but across the board trade war, Smoot-Hawley tariff levels, that starts to become a really, really big deal.
Paul, I've been and folks, the textbook on this is Krugman Opsfeld. It's all, again, you throw Ken Rogoff in as well, but Krugman Opsfeld, there's some adult textbooks out there of what Krugman invented for us in international economics. Paul, I've always defended you by saying the Venn diagram of Krugman economics and John Taylor economics at Stanford is pretty tight. Can Kevin Hassett advise this president towards some form of tariff moderation or sanity?
Kevin Hassett has a history of basically saying whatever. I mean, he's been a loyalist and a courtier. I would be really shocked if he goes to, tariffs appears to be a real Trump obsession, and I'd be shocked if Hassett or actually anybody stood up to Trump and said, Mr. President, you're thinking about this all wrong.
Professor, what concerns you, what worries you about this U.S. economy right here?
I think the U.S. economy as of right now is in very good shape.
Okay.
I am worried. I've been around a while, and the whole AI furor and all of the money being thrown at that technology gives me definite 1999 vibes. The sense that we may be having, even if the technology does do a lot of good stuff, and there's some indications that it will, the valuations look awfully high, and you can very easily imagine a kind of 2000, 2001 type. But the biggest concerns are policy. I mean, if you actually believe that Trump is going to do what he promised in the campaign with these massive tariffs, mass deportations, and let's not forget, taking away a lot of the Federal Reserve's independence, it's not at all hard to see us gratuitously. I mean, we're in good shape right now, but we could very easily have a gratuitous outbreak of stagflation in America, and it will be entirely coming top down from the White House.
Very quickly here, Professor Krugman. Paul, we got to do this or Krugman won't come back. The Substack this morning, the real threat of fake numbers. Paul Krugman, are you suggesting the president and his administration will cook the books?
I think that's a very high possibility. If you believe what I'm saying about inflation is actually going to go up substantially. And do you really imagine that Trump will just sit there and not say these are fake numbers, it's fake news, and put pressure on the Bureau of Labor Statistics to produce better numbers. I mean, we've seen populist regimes do that all over the world. Why imagine that it won't happen here? And I know that people who've had long careers at the Bureau of Labor Statistics are really worried about this. So I was just saying, flag this. This is something to watch.